People say American boarding schools are safe, but there's one story schools never want to talk about. A story about a teacher who died doing the right thing and came back because her death was never truly completed. Before she became the ghost students fear today, she was simply Ms. Eleanor Parker, an English teacher at St. Maryridge Girls' Academy, a place that looked perfect from the outside, but was quietly falling apart inside. Overcrowded dorms, understaffed teachers, and 5,000 girls packed into a system that barely tracked them. In a place like that, if a girl went missing, it could take days before anyone noticed. Ms. Parker was the one person who refused to pretend everything was fine. She wasn't loud or dramatic. She was calm, neat, always put together, and always wearing black heels, one of which had a tiny crack. When she walked, it made a very distinct, uneven sound. Tap, tap, drag, tap. Students joked about it. Some were scared of it. Teachers were annoyed by it. But nobody forgot it. One rainy night, Ms. Parker noticed a classroom light on long after curfew. She walked toward it, heard a girl crying, and pushed the door open without hesitation. Inside, she found Mr. Livingston standing too close to a terrified student. The girl's uniform was wrinkled, her hands shaking. The man dropped to his knees, begging her not to report him. The girl begged, too, afraid she'd be expelled. Ms. Parker listened without saying a word. Then she turned around and left. By morning, Mr. Livingston was in handcuffs. The school couldn't cover it, but the student was quietly expelled. And from that day on, other teachers saw Ms. Parker not as a hero, but as a threat. Teachers whispered about her in the break room. Who does she think she is? She's ruining things for everyone. She doesn't know how things work here. Students who loved gossip called her strict. Students who got in trouble called her wicked. But there was one girl who admired her deeply. Emily Carter, a quiet, straight-A student who believed Ms. Parker was the only adult in school who truly cared. They never said it out loud, but they understood each other, until one Monday morning when Emily's seat was empty. No note, no luggage gone, no sign she ever packed. When Ms. Parker asked the principal, he snapped, "Her parents pulled her out. Mind your business." But something felt wrong. That weekend, Ms. Parker visited Emily's parents. They were confused, exhausted, scared. "We didn't withdraw her," her father said. "She never came home." They had reported her missing, but the police didn't take it seriously. Then Emily's mother whispered something that made Ms. Parker's blood run cold. "She's not the first girl to disappear from that school." Suddenly, all the strange vanishings made sense. Girls who transferred, girls who went home, girls who simply stopped being mentioned. Miss Parker returned to the school, shaken from what she'd learned, and she began to write down every girl she remembered going missing. She asked other students quietly. More names appeared. Too many. Ms. Parker started asking teachers carefully. "Did you notice that girl in dorm 3A never came back? Do you remember the student from last semester who disappeared?" Some teachers pretended they didn't know what she was talking about. Others got nervous and walked away. But one teacher wasn't nervous. He was angry. Coach Reynolds, a man connected to a secret group outside the school, realized Ms. Parker had become a threat. She was building a report, gathering evidence, and planning to go straight to the police and the Catholic administration. If she talked, everything they'd been doing would come crashing down. Reynolds met the men he was working with and told them everything. She has names. She has details. She's planning to expose us. The men listened quietly and then made a decision. They didn't want to scare her. They didn't want to threaten her. They wanted to remove her completely. Someone suggested making her the next sacrifice. They needed a picture, her blood, and her shoes. It was a ritual they performed to gain power, and they believed it worked. They waited for the perfect moment. A rainy night, low visibility, Miss Parker on inspection duty. That night, the rain was coming down, hard. Miss Parker walked through the dim hallway, her broken heel tapping that uneven rhythm. Tap, tap, drag, tap. She didn't see the van until it stopped right in front of her. The doors flew open. Men grabbed her, and she screamed once before they dragged her inside. Her heel snapped off and fell in front of the dorm entrance, unnoticed in the dark. The van sped away. They took her to an abandoned building outside town. She begged them to stop, reminded them she had done nothing wrong, told them she was just trying to protect the girls. They didn't care. They tied her up, prepared the ritual, and completed everything, except one detail. They only had one of her shoes, and in their belief system, an incomplete sacrifice traps the spirit instead of releasing it. Ms. Parker didn't cross over. She didn't disappear. She rose, but she didn't rise as something wild or mindless. She rose remembering who she was, remembering the injustice, remembering the girls, bound to the school halls, bound to the missing girls, bound to the shoe she lost on the ground outside the dorm. Students never see her full face. They feel the cold first. They sense someone watching. Then they hear that slow, uneven sound echoing down the hallway. Tap, tap, drag, tap. Bullies stop bullying. Teachers doing wrong resign suddenly. Troublemakers feel someone standing behind them at night. Every boarding school has rumors about her now. A strict ghost, doing night inspections, just like she did when she was alive. Searching for the truth she died for. Searching for the girls who were taken. Searching for the shoe she never found. And she leaves behind one message every school should remember. If you stay silent about what's wrong, you become part of the wrong.